Hey guys, this is Holland with the Wolverine.com, and we're back with another Michigan recruiting report. Today, we're going to be breaking down 5 key 2025 targets from the state of Maryland. It's Michigan-Maryland week. If you're not a subscriber to the Wolverine.com, subscribe today for just $1 for 1 month for your game coverage. But today, we're going to be talking about guys that Michigan can steal from the Terps' backyard. So let's go ahead and get it started with on 300 running back Iverson Howard out of Quince Orchard. Really interesting running back. I think a lot of people have asked me the same question. What highly touted running back can Michigan land next cycle? And, running backs have been flying off the board early, but I think Iverson Howard is probably the most realistic, highly ranked guy. He's only a 3-star in the industry, but on 3 is really high on him, ranked as the number 17 running back, number 201 overall prospect nationally. So he's firmly in the on 300. And Howard kind of reminds me of Micah Kaapane. He's a bit of an all-purpose back that you can stick in the slot, split out wide, really speedy guy that you can do a lot of different things with. He's not necessarily that, Blake Corum true downhill runner, but he can run between the tackles if you need him. But I think the thing with Howard is just the versatility and the speed. His nickname is Rocket. He has that home run ability. So Iverson Howard's definitely a name to know. He has Michigan in that top group early on. He visited in the spring. He's still in constant communication with Mike Hart. So Howard is a priority on the Michigan running back board. Let's go ahead and go to wide receiver Vernon Allen out of Baltimore. I had a chance to see Vernon Allen a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of fits the mold of what Ron Bellamy looks for at the wide receiver position. He's only ranked as a 3-star, but a little bit like a raw, more athletic Frederick Moore is how I would describe Vernon Allen. Fred was a more polished route runner than Vernon is, while Vernon is a little more athletic, but both are really safe pass catchers, high floor type of guys that, I think can be really successful at the next level. And they still offer some ceiling as well. I think with Vernon Allen, you see the frame at 6'1.5", 193 pounds. He's already built really, really well. Maryland, Penn State are considered the early leaders in that recruitment, but Michigan offered him during the spring evaluation period. Ron Bellamy actually personally extended the scholarship during his swing through the DMV. And I think those two have built a really strong connection with Allen. It's all about getting out of his home region and making visits. He hasn't had the opportunity to do that just yet, but he did tell me he wants to make it to Michigan in the very near future, and the Wolverines are very high on his board early on. All right, let's move on to our next target here, and that is defensive lineman Trent Wilson, really highly touted defensive lineman here. Wilson was actually originally at Baltimore St. Francis, which of course produced Blake Corum and others. He's since transferred to Henry Wise. He actually dropped a top schools list a few weeks ago and included Michigan in that group. As you see, on 3 has him ranked the highest out of all the services, number 4 defensive lineman, number 26 overall recruit in the country. He's listed at 6'3", 260, but he's built like a tank, man. He can add a ton of weight and be a nose, but I think he projects best as a 3 tech. He's a really powerful kid, really strong kid in the trenches. He is a little bit raw from a technical standpoint, but just really gifted, which is why he's ranked so high. Now, Penn State is considered the leader in his recruitment, but after the Wolverines just demolished Penn State, I think that that's going to continue to open up some eyes from recruits around the East Coast, including Wilson. And, Michigan obviously has had success recruiting in the DMV and at his prior school at St. Francis. So I think they can make a move with him. They just have to get him on campus for his first visit. Let's go ahead and move on to our next target, and that is defensive back Faheem Delan out of Only Good Counsel, another powerhouse in the DMV. Michigan was, trending for some guys at good counsel this cycle and didn't seal the deal. Now they're shooting their shot with Delan, who's ranked as the #2 safety and number 29 overall prospect in the country. 6'2", 200 pounds, just a big, mean, athletic safety. I've seen him play live. I've seen him in camp, and he checks a lot of boxes for me. I think he's going to be a tremendous player at the next level. Michigan hasn't had him on campus just yet, but he did tell me in the offseason he wanted to get there. Ohio State has the early lead in this recruitment. I think Faheem's really open to playing in the Big Ten and actually prefers it. I think that's probably the best fit for him, which is why you see Ohio State and Penn State there at the top. Michigan has a chance to make some noise in this recruitment, but like I said, much like the Trent Wilson recruitment, they have to get him on campus to really make things shake. Let's go ahead and get to our next and final target, and it's a versatile athlete in Jeff Exner out of McDonough. He is, man, I saw him play a couple of weeks ago, and he's definitely a Swiss Army knife. He lines up at wide receiver for his high school. He's listed at 6'1", 210, but closer to 6'2". And, like I said, he lines up at wide receiver, but he can play tight end. I think he can play linebacker. I think he can play safety. Michigan likes him as kind of an H-back type. Grant Newsome has taken over for Ron Bellamy as the lead recruiter in this recruitment, with Bellamy still involved a little bit. But they like him as, a guy that can play some fullback, line up with his hand in the dirt, split out wide. So just a really intriguing athlete. And he's not built like a Max Bredesen type. He's kind of built like a Deebo Samuel type. And I know that's an overused player comp for all these, tweener type of guys on the offensive side of the ball. But I think Exner is just a really fluid athlete. He's actually an impressive route runner for his size, and he's just a big, strong kid. I'm really excited about what he can do. Now, Penn State's considered the leader in this recruitment, but he's actually making his first visit to Michigan for the game against Ohio State. And if things go well there, I could see the Wolverines making a big move. All right, guys, those are 5 recruits to know in the state of Maryland in 2025. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for free.